If you have no plan for podcast discovery, do not complain if your podcast is not discovered. It's the Podcast Report, episode 150. Show notes, links, conversation, and more at thepodcastreport.com/150. Yes, this is the episode about Pandora. I'm finally doing it. I've been excited to do this for a while. I have been saying episode after episode, blog post after blog post, book after book, that as podcasting progresses, the organizations like Pandora that have already made the connection between devices connected to the internet that bring us music, they will be bringing us podcast as well. We are at a really good place. Paul, why does this matter in the grand scheme of things? Well, those who know about your show have already found you. This is what we chatted about in the Google episode a couple of episodes ago. Google users were not listening to your show because Google didn't have an official app. There were other apps. People who know you exist, people who are looking for you, people who want more information from you are either listening to your show or have made a decision not to listen to your show. But what about those people who don't know that you exist? What about those people who have not heard your message? Where do they find you? Yeah, now we know that there are strategies you get on other shows, like-minded shows. We've chatted about that in the past. You get press. We've chatted about that in the past. I've got several clients who speak on very big stages who, when they say something sly like, oh yeah, we cover that in depth on my podcast, when they do that, a bunch of people pull out their phones immediately and subscribe to their show. They get an audience that way. But how does someone discover you? That's what I think Pandora can bring to the table, and I want to chat about that. This is a special one-off episode of the Podcast Report. Season 6 is raring up, wants to get out soon, but I just wanted to get this episode out even before that. And music's going to be different, voiceover is going to be different. It's really a special episode. It's neat that we got this on episode 150. I'll probably make this the last episode of season 5. We'll play with that iTunes tag that lets you say it's a bonus episode. We'll do that. But, well, I'm not going to give the entirety of this episode to those who are listening to it on all the traditional places. I'll tell you right now, the entirety of this episode is only going to be available in the podcast app or podcast option at Pandora. If you want to skip to the ending of this, you can head out to thepodcastreport.com/Pandora, and that will redirect you to the Podcast Report. Get this at Pandora. If you go to Pandora and you click the collect button, that will bring this podcast into your collection, and pick some other podcasts as well, but definitely pick mine. Would love to have those numbers, would love to have the bump that comes from that. And that's why I'm making the entirety of this episode only available on Pandora. But we'll get the setup, and you can decide here if you want to keep listening, if you want to know why I think Pandora is so important. I'll tell you, it's a lot of things. First thing, we want to follow the money. It's really interesting. I don't know if you know this or not, but Pandora was recently acquired by SiriusXM, the satellite people. These satellite people have had a lot of money and have been focusing a lot on the bringing content to people, not through traditional terrestrial. Right now, they have been focusing, or in the past, they've been focusing strongly on those satellite. But you know what? They bought Pandora. Why? Because people who are at Pandora know that I'm not limited to my local radio station. I'm not limited to what is within my broadcast reach. There's a whole internet out there. As a matter of fact, I can just tell Pandora what it is that I want, and Pandora can bring it to me, and then I can give Pandora a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then they can give me more of what I like and less of what I don't like. Oh my goodness, this is the greatest podcasting option ever. Follow the money first. Follow the size. More Pandora users in North America regular than there are podcast listeners regular. What? Yes, Pandora's done a better job. Now, part of it is, again, when you go to the follow the money, Pandora's been able to put in ads and make money off of this, which we'll chat about in a second. Discovery. Pandora has an engine where you can say, I like 80s music. I like hair bands. I like country female singers with a sultry voice. Whatever it is you say that you like, then Pandora brings it to you. Oh my goodness, Paul, wait a minute. Could people say that they like podcast in my topic and then Pandora brings me to that person? Yes. This is a potential new audience. And this isn't the Google promise of people looking for information are suddenly going to subscribe to your show. They might. That's interesting. Play with that. But this is a demographic of people who are already listening to audio, already picking what they want, already giving the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Now bringing them you. The other thing that's really interesting about this Pandora thing is that we now realize we're everywhere. We're on Apple. We're on Google. We're on Amazon. We're on Spotify. We're on Pandora. Now we can truly say, listen to this show, follow this show, collect this show. We'll chat about that in a second, wherever you listen to audio. So now this is where I'm going to do it. If you want to listen to the rest of this conversation, I'm going to have you head over to thepodcastreport.com/Pandora. I want you to click the collect button. That is the way Pandora, at least at the time of this recording, is telling people how to subscribe. And it makes sense. Click to put it into a collection. And once you do that, you'll be able to listen to the rest of this episode. You can jump ahead and we will have a great time. Yes, I am doing this to get more subscribers and followers on Pandora. It is a strategy that I absolutely, completely, and totally recommend that you use. But regardless, if you want to hear the whole thoughts on Pandora and what all this means, you got to head out to thepodcastreport.com/Pandora.